Yes, we are finally here in the last section of our semester exam review. I know you're excited, so let's just jump on in and get to it. Alright, which polynomial is going to represent this stuff? We got to multiply here. And whenever we're multiplying two parenthesis groups, I hope our first thought is box method. X plus 2 and x cubed minus 8. This is going to be a little bit different because we've got two different powers going on. X times x cubed is going to give me an x4. This is going to give me plus 2x cubed minus 8x and minus 16. Now, since these don't really match right here, these guys are not going to match either, and we cannot put them together. So, x to the 4, 2x cubed minus 8x minus 16. A is just our answer. There's no like terms to combine. Life is great. And then we get to number 44. Oh, Lord. Look at all this mess. Well, what multiplies to 12? But when you subtract them, makes a negative 7. Hopefully you're thinking that's a negative 3 and a negative 4. So, now with this x to the 4 here, we're just going to write x squared for both our parenthesis groups. One's going to be a minus 3, the other is going to be a minus 4. So, negative 3 times negative 4 makes our positive 12. X squared times x squared makes our x to the 4. And then when you add these two together, it makes our term here in the middle. So that's just doing a little factoring. And just remember, when you see three things with the 4 power, that's all you're going to do. It's nice and easy. X squared minus 3, we can't really simplify that. But x squared minus 4, that's really an x plus 2, x minus 2, because I'm sure by now we all remember our difference of squares pattern with the plus minus thing, where we take the square root of 4 and split it into the plus minus. No? Alright. Well, you'll get sick of hearing me say that that's the thing we need to remember, because we use it all the time. We do, because we do. Alright, so as far as solutions go, that gives me a minus 2 and a plus 2 for two of my answers here, which starts to help out, meaning we're not getting these things with the two eyes going on. So we're down to A and B, but we still need to figure out what's going on with our solutions for this guy. So we need to take that one and actually set it equal to 0 and do the work. Plus 3, that gives me x squared equals 3. I want to take my square root of both sides, and I get x equals to plus or minus the square root of 3. There is no negative 3, so I'm not getting a negative inside my parentheses, and therefore I'm not getting this I on the outside, and B is my answer. So, one of the little trickier questions on our test. It's not so bad, but there's some stuff to do. Alright, this guy. Lucky for you, on your actual test, they're not going to make you do this. Negative sign here means we want a negative on the front, so it's one of these two. Now, which one am I going to multiply and make a negative 27? Negative 3 times positive 9. So D is our answer. But, like I said, lucky for you, they kind of took this one out. And actually, the number 50 in your white packet is basically got stuck here at number 45. So you don't got to worry about this one. But that's how you do it anyway. In case inquiring minds really wanted to know. What is the set of all real zeros here? Now notice the underlining. That means that probably is important, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first we need to figure out what kind of things we got going on with zeros. So I'm going to do a little factoring by parts since there's 4 things. What do these got in common? They got an x squared. So it'll be x squared times x plus 3. Bring that plus sign down because we always take it with us, and 4 and 12 got a 4 in common, and guess what? X plus 3. So x squared and 4 are going to become a parenthesis group on their own, and then x plus 3 is going to be a parenthesis group. So at this point I know that one of my solutions is going to be negative 3, but hey, everybody's got a negative 3, so I've got to decide what's going on with this guy here. So, like we just did in the problem before, we need to go ahead and solve it and put it equal to 0. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I get x squared equals negative 4. And we want to take our square root of that, so I get x equals plus or minus square root of 4 is 2, but the negative sign means I got 2i. Now, do I see 2i over here? No, no I do not. Why? Because it wants the real answers. How many real answers did I get? Only this guy. Imaginary solutions, I guess, for this problem are not good enough for these people. They only want real ones. So, negative 3 all by itself is our only solution. Alright, fundamental theorem of algebra. We didn't really talk about it because it's kind of easy and dumb, but the fundamental theorem of algebra, which I guess we've just now gotten to, of all the years of algebra you've been doing, here's the fundamental theorem. Whatever your biggest power is, that's how many solutions you can get. That's how many zeros you can find. Just like how in this last problem here, biggest power was 3, and we got 1, 2, 3 things, even though they only wanted real. But 1, 2, 3, well, that's all it is. If this thing's got a power of 4, that means we could find 4 answers. That's it. Find your biggest power, circle it. Free points. Who doesn't love free points? Alright, 48. This guy. We didn't talk about it because we are going to get to that probably in the week or two after you guys come back from final exams. So, a little trick. Divided by this thing. What it really means is if I took this answer choice and multiplied it by x plus 2, would I get back to this? I don't know. And I know none of you want to sit here and do box method with all this stuff. So all we're going to do is we're going to check this last number. If I did negative 11 times 2, is that going to make 2? No. Negative 11 times 2, is that going to make 2? No. But 1 times 2, that makes 2. So C is our answer here. You take your last numbers, you multiply them by the last number, and see if that gives you the last number. That's simple. And that's how you go through one of these little long division problems here. I know you're probably upset that we haven't talked about how to do x plus 2 and how that divides into x cubed minus 3x squared minus 9x plus 2 and how to do that long division style. Oh, you're going to be so excited when we get to finally do that in class. But, yeah, not right now. 49, we're so close to being done, which describes the end behavior of our graph. Remember, for end behavior stuff, all we care about is the front. That's a positive x to the 4, and this is going to tell us everything we need to know about how our graph looks. Positive means my right side is going up. Even number here for my power means my left side is going to match. If this was a 3 or a 5, my left side would be going the opposite way. 4 minus 1 makes 3, so that means we got a W thing going on with our graph, and that's more than we needed to know. So, next clue is we need to look at this. It says we're going to negative infinity. That means the left side. If this was a positive infinity, we'd be talking about the right side. Well, my left arrow in this case is going up, so I want to pick the one that's talking about going up, and that's B. Don't be the kid that picks one of these things. End behavior for these crazy graphs are always going to infinity in one direction or the other. Don't pick these. They put them there because there's really only two choices. It's either positive or negative infinity. They got to put something there. Somebody's going to pick it. You probably won't be any of you because you're actually trying and listening to this video. But somebody sitting next to you in class is going to pick one of those, and you can laugh a little bit on the inside and think about, man, sad, sad thing. Another sad thing. Okay, so this one is going to be like, what was it, 45 I said it got kind of moved to. But, nice easy problem. How many zeros? Well, what are the zeros? Zeros are where it crosses on our x-axis. So we're literally just finding what are these numbers. That's a negative 3, that's a 1, and that's a 4. Negative 3, 1, and 4. Hey, look at that. Free points. Just match them up. And again, somebody's going to miss this too. It's going to be sad. That, my friends, is the entire semester exam for Algebra 2. I really, really, really do hope you do well, especially if you've actually managed to listen to these things. I do thank you. Thank you for your efforts and your trying, and I hope you do amazing things. And I'm pretty sure you will. Test isn't that bad. you'll be good. Just don't freak out. So in any case, pay attention to your negative signs out there and make good choices. And hopefully you do well. And we'll see some good grades for our semester. Bye.